All right, it's 9 o'clock. Everybody, please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome, everyone. Going to take care of a few miscellaneous motions to begin the meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of Monday, May 4th, 2026, as written.
I'll move.
Second. McCurry moved. Was it Barker second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. I would entertain a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Jerry Snowball, noxious weed laborer, new hire, part-time, short-term / summer temp, wage classification 5-1, wage $15.96, effective May 8th, 2026.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Thompson moved, Addenbraw seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That passes 5-0. We have a motion upon the recommendation of Brad Scheidmeyer, IT Director, to waive the purchasing policy as to competitive bidding for good cause, said cause being that the vendor is a single source supplier contract, and to approve the purchase of Laserfish document imaging, maintenance, and support July 19, 2026 through July 18, 2027 from ICC Community Development Solutions, Detroit, Michigan, in the total amount of $10,634. Funding for the purchase will come from the 2026 County General Fund Technology Training and Equipment line item. I'll make that motion after all that.
I'll second it.
Pretty something. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. And I'd entertain a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Justice Kimmerer, jail corporal promotion, step change, grade change, wage classification 30-4 to 35-2. And that's wage $21.86 to $22.02, effective May 1st, 2026.
So moved. I'll second.
Abendroth moved, McCurry seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. We have another motion for the jail. Motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign the Coffee County payroll notice for Donnell Sider, jail, be a jail sergeant promotion, step change, grade change, wage classification 35-3 to 40-1, wage $22.58 to $23.02, effective May 1, 2026.
I'll move.
Seconded. Thompson moved, seconded by Barker. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. And that takes us to the first item on our agenda, which is the Hospital Administrator Stacy Augustine 2027 budget request.
Good morning.
I know.
All appreciate everybody making some time for us to come and speak with you all this morning about our 2027 budget. Before we dive into the budget, the first thing that I gave you in your packet is just a press release that's going to be coming out before too terribly long. We were notified last week that the hospital received some recognition from Becker's Hospital Review. We were named one of the 100 critical access hospitals to know in 2026, which is really exciting and certainly demonstrates the great work that's happening at the hospital and all the wonderful things that our staff does there. But I wanted to make sure that I also gave all of you credit for it as well, because the reality of it is without your support and without the community support, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do. So we're very excited. It's something to certainly celebrate, but we also wanted to thank you as well, because without you, this recognition wouldn't have been possible.
What area does that represent? 100?
As far as,
Nationwide.
yeah, that was nationwide.
Oh,
Mhm.
great.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I was wondering.
That's
That's
right.
pretty impressive.
It is, yeah. There was only 5 hospitals in Kansas that received it, and we were one of those. So
Okay.
we're very proud of that. There's about 1,300 critical access hospitals throughout the United States, so to be in the top 100 is definitely something to be proud of and to celebrate. So,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, thank you for the question. Thank you. Moving into our budget, there's a couple of different things that I included in your packet. The first one is the budget request form, and there's lots of red words on it. This is just, it's kind of a cheat sheet, if you will, that shows where we pulled the numbers for the budget. Honestly, it's for me to help to make sure that I do it consistently from year to year, also to help you to really understand where those numbers are coming from. And then, you know, in the future, if somebody were to pull these documents, hopefully they'll be able to see where these numbers came from as well. So that's just a reference for you. The next page is a profit loss. On the left-hand side, you'll see the 2026 numbers. So this is based on our 2026 budget. And you'll see that we have the system as a whole, and then we have the ambulance broke out separately as well as the hospital broke out separately, since those are 2 separate budgets, and then the system represents both of those together. On the right-hand side there, you'll see our 2025 actuals, so that you can kind of just compare those from year to year, the actuals to what we're budgeting for this year. We will finalize our 2027 budget in Q4 of this year. We generally will base our budget off of the previous year's performance, of course, and then make any adjustments for things that we know will be different in 2027. Looking at our actual county requests, we'll start with the hospital. You'll see the 2025 actuals, which are represented on the profit loss statement, and then the 2026 budget. And then for our 2027 request, we just based it off of the 2026 budget, made a couple of adjustments for things that we know will change, one of those being salary and benefits. Cost of everything is just increasing, so we did put in a 2.5% increase for salaries and a 7% increase for benefits. And then on capital outlay, you'll notice that there's a highlighted $300,000, which I will get into that in just a second. But the most important part is the county support there. We are requesting the same amount that we received last year. No difference in support, even though we increased benefits and salaries and then the capital outlay, we still would like for the request to remain the same. At the very bottom, under reserve assets, which is a new section this year, wanted to speak to those a little bit. So checking, I have $1.5 million in checking there. We weren't totally sure what to put in that box there, so we just did our year-to-date average of what's in our operating account. So typically that's hovering on average about $1.5 million right now. Sometimes it's a little below $1 million, sometimes it's at $2 million. So we just kind of took an average there of what we've been seeing so far for this year. And then under savings, you'll see just a little bit over $2 million in the savings. This is something new for us, something exciting for us. So back in the COVID time, in 2023, there was a program from the government called the Employee Retention Credit, and essentially it was a credit, if you will, for businesses to apply to that had any sort of disruption in operations during COVID, that they maintained payroll, they maintained benefits. So the hospital was eligible to put in for that program. We were working on our application, and right before we were about to submit it, they actually shut the program down because there was a whole lot of fraud that was happening with it. So they were doing a lot of audits. They did open that window back up for a very, very brief period of time. So at the end of 2023, we were able to slide our application in. Of course, there's change in administration and everything else. And we kind of thought that program went away completely, to be honest with you. And we were not counting on receiving those funds. And then it's probably about a month ago, we received a letter letting us know that we would actually be receiving those funds in about 45 days, and then 4 days later we actually received the check. So this is a one-time payment that we'll receive that we're extremely excited about, very thankful for. And we have that in a separate account right now, away from our operating expense. It's essentially a savings account, if you will, that we have sitting there. We do have some plans for those funds. The majority we would like to keep in reserves for a number of reasons. Probably the most important is it's always good to have a safety net for the unexpected things that could potentially occur. The sewer line replacement comes to mind. We just finished that project up. Had that happen several years ago, it would have been a real hardship to be able to pay for that. So we would like to have some emergency funds on hand. The second thing is we are heavily reviewing our employees' insurance right now, health insurance. Potentially looking at going self-funded. We'll have to see if that will work out for us or not. But if we should make that move, we will need to have funds in reserve to be able to pay claims out of. So it's a unique opportunity to set us up to potentially be able to make that change. So it's something that we're heavily evaluating for this year.
Who you with now?
Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We're on a fully funded plan with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you could really make a huge savings if you could make that work.
We could, and honestly, it could be a huge benefit to our employees as well.
Right.
So,
right.
Yep. The other piece of trying to keep some of those funds available is we just have several programs. I've come in front of you before about several things that are potentially coming on the line that we're just not sure of yet as far as cuts go. There's a provider tax program that's coming down the line that could be a big benefit for us, but in order to participate, it does require paying into it. You do get that money back, but it is a large lump sum that we would have to pay into it to be able to participate. 340B, which is one of our pharmacy programs, it's kind of up in the air right now. It's a significant source of cash flow for us, so just a lot of unknowns. Another good reason to just have money in reserves should we see any changes in cash flow moving forward. Looking at our future capital expenditures on the next page, this list is not all inclusive. I only included some of the top priority items. And you're going to see a lot of capital outlay, things that aren't really too exciting, like parking lots and roofing and HVAC systems. And really a lot of this is attributed to because back in 1994 and also in 2001, we had some big expansions on our facility. And so a lot of these items are still original to those projects that were done on a bond issue. So, we're looking at things that are now 30 years old, and it's just time to start getting some of those items replaced. So the highlighted item, the Simplex fire alarm system, we need to completely replace our fireboard as well as all of the wiring. It's end of life. We're not able to get parts for it anymore. I say that we can get parts for it, but they're getting very difficult to find parts for it. So that is something that we do need to address sooner than later. So going back to the budget, the highlighted $300,000, that corresponds with that fire alarm system. So in 2027, we'll need to go out to bid, get a real good cost on that. This is just an estimate right now, but that is something that, if able, we would like to request some county assistance for. But again, I would like to bring good actual numbers to you after we go through that bid process for that item. Going back to ERC funds again, there are some capital projects that we will be doing with some of those funds. I talked a lot about trying to save those, keep those in reserve, but we also know we need to spend some of that money as well and take care of some of these items. So the ones not on your list that we're going to be doing in 2026, the main sewer line replacement, which we just did, there's a piece of lab equipment that will be about $50,000 that we're going to look to replace. There's also a roof on the Waverly Clinic, as well as some exterior stonework at the Meadows, and then the first phase of our parking lots as well is what we're hoping to look at to do this year. Some of it might kind of go over into 2027, just depending on timing.
The sewer line was about 70 grand.
Yeah, sewer line, yes, $69,500.
70,000.
For the sewer line.
That was a company out of Topeka that did it?
Yep, it was. Looking at, I'm sorry, is there any questions that I can answer on the hospital before I move to the ambulance? Okay. Looking at ambulance, we did it in the same format with our 2025 actual, 2026 budget. 2027, again, there's a small increase for salary and benefits. As far as county support request, remaining the same for this next coming year. And then capital outlay, you'll see this $270,000. That is for the new ambulance that we expect to arrive in '27. We ordered it actually last year, but they're about 3 years out. So we do expect it to come in '27, and we'll have to pay for it at that time. And then looking at the capital expenditures, obviously we need to just continually be replacing our fleet of ambulances to make sure that they're in good repair and ready to respond. So we're trying to get on a better rotation of spacing those out. And we also have to plan, since they're 3 years out, we need to order knowing that it will then come 3 years later as well. Are there any questions?
So can you tell us the ambulance you'd be replacing? Do you know how many miles it has on it?
Oh, I meant to print that off. It's an old one. I want to say it's like a 2012 or a 2013. And I believe it has close to 200 or maybe a little over 200,000. Yeah.
They get more miles on them than a person would think. I'm
Oh,
sure.
yes. Yeah. They rack up pretty quick.
They
And
do quite a bit.
they do. And our crew does a good job of trying to rotate those to make sure that not one of them is taking the brunt of all of it, but they do get up in mileage pretty quick.
Are they fully staffed, or are they still shorthanded?
They're doing much better than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
I think there's just a couple of openings. We do have a few of our EMTs that are wrapping up paramedic school right now, which is wonderful. Paramedics are definitely the most difficult to find, so they'll be wrapping that up pretty quick, and then that'll just leave a couple of EMT openings for us. Anything else? Okay, I appreciate your time. And speaking of EMS, we are going to have our EMS picnic for the community next week. So all of you are invited to attend that if you would like. I believe it's on Tuesday over the noon hour. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to see you there. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Yep. It does.
Okay, next item on the agenda, Road and Bridge Supervisor, Adam Hope. Purchase truck beds.
Morning, Adam.
Good morning. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great, how are you?
I'm great. Busy weekend. Well, no call outs or anything, just my wife had me busy all weekend. Getting ready for graduation. Just came today for the motions on the pickup flatbeds that I came last week for, on the new trucks that showed up there early, the prior week. I believe Kenny sent up all the information as far as my bids and everything that I went through the process of getting these pickup beds.
Okay, guess we'll go straight into the motions. Entertain a motion based upon the recommendation of the Road and Bridge Supervisor to accept bid from Sandcrest Trailer Sales for one Legend X Viking flatbed for T61. The purchase price total of $6,523, this being the best bid and to be paid from the General Fund Public Works Equipment line item.
I'll move.
A second.
Thompson moved, McCurry seconded.
How long on these, Adam, to get them?
The two for this truck here, this bed here is about 6 to 8 weeks. That was the soonest I could get one from all the people I contacted. One other company, I believe, in western Kansas, they were unavailable, and another one, I don't remember where it was at, St. John, was 16 weeks.
So I guess my question, when you ordered those 3 new pickup trucks, I'm sure you spec'd them out with no beds on them.
I did, yes.
So why wasn't the process started to get the beds when the trucks were ordered?
it was started. I started it, but I had not got, I had planned on having another month or better before the trucks even showed up. They showed up about 6 weeks early.
So now you're looking at 7 to 8 weeks to get a bed on these, so you can't even use those trucks until you get a bed on them.
The other two beds on here are on the ground and ready to be picked up.
Okay.
The third truck, no, it's not gonna be available for another 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks.
Do they deliver these beds, or do you gotta go pick them up?
We have to go pick them up. Delivery fee was gonna be outrageous. I didn't even include that.
So are you gonna wait till all three of them come in to go get them, or are you gonna get the
We're
two
gonna go
and
get
then go
we're
back?
gonna go get the first two, in basically just outside of Joplin. Bring those back, get those put on those trucks, and then the third one will be going and picking it up when it shows up in Diamond, Missouri.
So you guys are gonna install them then?
Yes. Yeah. We installed the Bridge Cruise truck, their bed that we put on it last year that we got, was pretty easy to put on. Took a couple days.
Okay.
Are they custom made for that truck, or you gotta build brackets and?
They're custom made, everything's
So they got the
set it
specs
on,
and
brackets and wiring and all that stuff, plug and play, and
bushings and everything come with them.
yep, all ready to go.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0.
As far as, that would be my fault, Mike, as far as not being ready for that. I just kinda got stuck behind the 8 ball and got a lot of other things I was working on as far as equipment replacement, so.
Oh, I understand.
Like if these came in, you said last week if these came in 3 or 4 weeks earlier than.
The trucks,
Yeah.
yes, so the trucks showed up not this past week, but the prior week, and weren't supposed to be here until the first to middle of June. So and actually, that was about almost 6+ weeks early.
Right, okay.
And I really wasn't expecting, because I had been in contact with Sandcrest and some other vendors prior to even couple months ago, and wasn't expecting these beds to not be available at the time, but I couldn't speak for them without,
Asking them.
coming before you with a motion to purchase, and I just hadn't done that. And then, unfortunately, they got sold.
Do you happen to remember the bid for those 3 trucks? Wasn't it like $158,000?
$58,000 each. I
For a
believe.
total of 3?
For a total of 3, yeah.
Not each.
Sorry, they were $58,000 each, yes.
Okay, but,
The pickups.
okay, so the total for all 3 was like 154, 155 range?
Just under 160,
Okay,
somewhere around 160.
all right.
Can I suggest next time we do this, you give us a heads up that you're gonna end up putting another $7,500 into them on beds, or we didn't rotate the beds out?
I did have that discussion back in January when I came after these trucks. I had the discussion and we'd be outfitting these cabin chassis trucks with flatbeds.
Okay, maybe, I don't remember that, I thought we were
so-
gonna switch them over,
so
but I know that
I-
you're gonna keep them on those, cause you're gonna pass those trucks on down to another department.
Yes,
And
so
that's
the trucks that
yeah.
we're actually replacing, it's kind of difficult. We're handing, so our 2 trucks that I'm replacing with 2 of these are on our assistance fleet that run our track hose every day, that carry our buckets.
Right, and then you're gonna need
So
the,
those are gonna get passed down to our mowing crew trucks, and we're actually getting rid of our mowing crew trucks, which are just the 2008 Ford F-250s that just have a standard bed on.
Okay.
And then the third truck is, like I explained last week, it would be a total rebuild.
that's the junk one.
That's the junk one,
Yeah.
rusted and,
Keep in mind also, we took some of those older trucks and knocked them down to liability insurance.
yes.
So we're gonna have to,
More payment for having full coverage.
correct.
Right. Yeah, these will need it for a while, for
Yeah.
a few years.
Yeah, just trying to play catch up on some, trucks and equipment that we're behind on, and making sure that our crews are outfitted with everything they need to get their job done and not having equipment in the shop.
Okay, we're ready for the second motion. I'd entertain a motion based upon the recommendation of the road and bridge supervisor to accept bid from Sandcrest Trailer Sales for one Legend X Viking Pro Flat for T62. The purchase price total of $7,478.94 as being the best bid and to be paid from General Fund Public Works Equipment line item.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
McCurry moved, Avondross seconded. Any further discussion on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
And we have a third trailer. Based upon the recommendation of the road and bridge supervisor to accept bid from Sandcrest Trailer Sales for one Legend X Viking Pro Flat for T63. The purchase price total of $7,478.94 as being the best bid and to be paid from the General Fund Public Works Equipment line item. I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, so Peterson moved, Thompson seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you. I think the last thing on my deal is asphalt contracts. There's some special issue. Kenny said everything was lined out as far as who need to sign where and all that stuff.
So, this is all the same project, right?
Yes.
You gotta do that, did you?
Today ain't over.
You're not it.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to authorize and direct the chairman to sign contract documents with Kilo Construction for Hot Mix Project number A2601-C.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Parker moved, Avondross seconded.
Is that the one on 12th Road?
This is the one for the intersections in Leroy.
Oh, okay.
The one right there west of the co-op and then Shetland going back north on 58.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. Anything else for me?
Have a safe week.
Yeah, gonna be a good week.
It should be.
Busy graduation coming up.
Get your graduation.
Is that Sunday?
That's Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday morning.
My to-do list is still quite long. All right, well, thank you guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Take care.
Okay, we're.
This is.
Other than that,
Yeah,
to replace it.
in 2027.
So, are we looking at saying
Yeah, okay,
4.1
okay,
million
let
is
me
what the
do that.
request is?
No,
Yeah, it's the same,
It's
same on the
same.
other sheet.
it's the same as on the other sheet. There's no change.
Yeah, I just did it, I added that one into, and then came up with 4.2.
Right, right.
I didn't include the request in this also.
No,
Yeah,
that's future.
That capital is separate
Down the road.
Yeah, that's just,
on the next year cycle. Okay.
yeah. And that's what I have in mind. Or that's what I have
Have you
to do.
built in on it for this current account, waiting for loans?
You know, I think that's what we have to do. And maybe,
I don't know, that's why I asked.
yeah. Obviously, I'm not sure.
So,
No,
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready to move on? Yep. Oh, we're right on schedule.
Resolution to call for a hearing on June 11th.
Discuss that first.
Yes. Okay, so we aren't doing any comparing.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Gotcha, all right.
Okay, ready for our 9:30 appointment. Economic Development Director Jenny Tatman.
With the RHID that we've got going on with 75 housing, Dominic Eck is representing them with Gilmore and Bell. So he's been their counsel on this. County counsel on this. So he can explain, he sent me some documents the other day, just for a resolution. I guess we need to have a hearing on June 15th. June, I kind of explain that.
Is it 15th or the 11th?
I think on the stuff you sent me, Dominic, is the 11th.
What's in here?
Whatever that, it would be a Monday, whatever that Monday is.
I think it's 15th.
Should be the hearing. Pulling up the document here. Yeah, so Dominic Eck with Gilmore and Bell. The RHID process requires really kind of 3 steps, and you've taken 1 step, which was to declare this property an eligible area for RHID. Once you declare it eligible, you send it up to the Secretary of Commerce, and they have to agree with that plan. They have done so, and so now we can take the second step in the process, which is to call for a public hearing regarding a specific project to be constructed on the property. So we declared it eligible, now we have a proposal for a specific project, and now we can call for a public hearing, hold the hearing on that, and if you so choose, then at that hearing, following that hearing, you can create the RHID district. What that then allows is for property taxes generated within the boundaries of the defined district, above and beyond what is currently generated, to be set aside into, we call it kind of special bucket, right? Special bucket of funds that can then be utilized to pay eligible project costs. Eligible project costs generally consist of horizontal infrastructure, land acquisition of horizontal infrastructure. Generally speaking, those are what are allowed under the RHID Act. There are exceptions, but in this case, the developer has identified about $840,000 worth of infrastructure that would support the development of 14 homes and be eligible for reimbursement through that RHID process. The developer would construct the infrastructure up front and then be entitled to reimbursement over time as that property tax increment is generated. Once they are fully reimbursed, then those properties are on the tax rolls and just continuing to provide excess property tax revenues to all the applicable jurisdictions at that point in time. This is not an increase in a property tax rate on those homes or a decrease. As a homeowner, you would see the same tax bill, you would pay it in the same manner. Simply, it would be set aside and utilized to reimburse these expenses rather than distributed out to the general funds of the county and the school and things of that nature.
That'd be a preset amount though,
Yeah, so,
decided on before.
correct.
And then when that money reached that level,
That's right.
then
That's
it would
correct.
switch.
Then you stop segregating and it would just go back into normal distributions
Okay.
of tax dollars.
And we decided on that route, to help pay for, like the road, sewer, things like that they're gonna need to build out there that don't exist, instead of the county contributing any amount of funds from our budget.
So the developer would put in
Yes,
the necessary infrastructure, and then this item would pay him back, is what it is,
right, so
over a period of time.
it helps to
And then-
reimburse
Right.
the developer.
The developer, and then,
Initial upfront costs.
right, and then once that's done, then that comes back to the.
This is correct.
Okay.
Right,
That's correct.
and the intent is also to help keep the cost of the housing down for the people who are hopefully purchasing the
Right.
house.
So when the contractor puts the infrastructure in with that grant, are there any inspection requirements?
Typically speaking, what we would have come before the county, in addition to the creation documents at the next meeting, we will have a development agreement. And the development agreement will say, hey, if you are constructing any sort of infrastructure that you are going to try to turn over to the county for county ownership, you're doing that all in conformance with all of our standards and requirements. If you're doing other infrastructure, the creation of this RHID itself does not absolve you from any sort of building requirements that you would otherwise have. You're going to go through the same process as if this didn't exist when it comes to permitting, inspections, things of that nature. So it does not, reduce or necessarily increase. However, you have the option, right? You're going to provide this incentive. You can certainly say we want to have extra requirements.
If this is something in the end, when it's done, the county has to step in and take over to maintain it.
Yes, then we'd say, you have to, the county's got to inspect and approve and accept, right? You're not just going to give us something that we have no control over.
Correct.
We're going to go through a process. Yes, we include that language.
Okay.
Yes.
But yeah,
That
if the
makes
county,
sense, yeah.
if the county's gonna take it over and maintain it, it needs to be built to the specs that we want it to build.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, agree.
Because essentially, in a way, the taxpayers are paying for it.
Correct.
And, as part of their payment, you might say, it's not coming out of not coming out of our budget, but it's being withheld as taxes.
But it
So
could be.
we need to have something quality, like you say.
Yeah, it could come out of the budget if it's built inferior and we gotta go in there in 5
Yeah.
years
Right.
and tear the road base out.
Right.
Because there's
We have
only
to
2
do it
inches
over.
of rock versus.
Yeah.
Up to that time, though, the developer's responsible for any repairs or anything until
So,
they take over.
until there's a formal, handoff to the county in the same way as any
What's
other
your
road.
speculation on time-wise on that?
I don't have speculation on what their construction schedule is, other than to know that they're ready to start going soon, and so I think they would be looking to start getting this infrastructure in quickly because they want to start putting out houses.
So, year, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
So the schedule that they have kind of provided us of a build out is they're hoping to do get started on a couple this year, and then 3 or 4 a year over the next few years until they reach
The infrastructure, will they do it all at once, or will they do it as they add houses?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you have any
There's
insight.
nothing to check with.
Yeah.
I would probably have to check with Patrick, but like
Yeah.
Dominic said, I know originally when they were looking at getting that MIH grant, they were gonna plan to build like 6 houses at once and then build the other ones. They didn't get that funding, but with the RHID, I guess they're planning on, like you said, doing 2 to 3 and then 3 more until they get to that 14 number. But I can check with them on what their plan is with the infrastructure, and are they gonna just build that all and then build the houses, or are they gonna build it with?
And that would probably depend on how fast they could sell the housing. Because I assume that these are spec houses, they won't be sold up front, correct?
We'd have to check with Patrick on what his marketing plan there. Usually
Which
what
doesn't
we-
make any difference, but I
Yeah.
guess the point was, is that it would depend on how fast they would move that house before they could build another one, I would guess.
Yes, although I know on some of the infrastructure, right, it can be far more economical to just go ahead and do the whole road, right? So they do that up front sometimes, but we'll have to get some input from the developer on what they're.
Can you check on that, Jenny?
Yes.
And then see if that, when they hand that off to us, we're not doing it in sections, like they can only get 3 houses
Sure.
built here, then they add
Yeah.
more. They should all be done at one
Sure.
time.
And we can put that into.
And they may
the-
have it lined up in phases too, like you
Yeah.
said, it just.
It'd be cheaper for us, I would think, the sooner it was built, because then that price would be determined. Things continue to keep getting higher all the time, so
Right.
it'd be to our advantage
And I
if
know-
they could do that.
Part of the infrastructure they were looking at too was this, I think the costly part was the sewer, because with the way they were setting it up, they're going to do, I think, lagoons or they've been working with Carl on how they were going to set up the sewer.
Yeah, that was my next one. If it's community lagoons or individuals or,
I think the plan that I had when they were looking at the MIH grant was individual lagoons, because they were gonna do the 5-acre plot.
requirements. Yep.
So the action item for today, if you'd like to move forward, would be to consider this resolution to call for the public hearing. There are a couple steps that have to be taken statutorily to provide notice, most significantly publishing this resolution that calls for the public hearing in the official paper, notifying the County Planning Commission, and notifying the affected school district. The school district would have, following the public hearing, if you choose to go forward and create the district, the school district would have a 30-day veto period. Since their mill levies are subject to capture as well, they would be able to hold their hand up and say, we think this would have an adverse effect on us. We need you to not do this. And so they do have that ability. Similarly, if a city was doing an RHID, you as the county would have that ability to do the same. So that will occur. I believe that the developer's been in touch with the school district, let them know the plans and proposal. We always advise that they certainly do so to keep that communication open. Don't want the first communication they receive to say, hey, we're going to have this public hearing to kind of set this up. So I believe that's been the case. We'll confirm that again with Patrick as well. The hearing would be scheduled, if you choose to adopt the resolution today, for June 15th, the June meeting. Receive public comment from any members of the public that would so choose, and then you would have another resolution at that point if you consider to create the district. The other thing is that the maximum is 25 years that a district can be created, so it can capture the tax increment for up to 25 years.
So that is, the 15th is the day that we're doing that land viewing.
Or do that in the afternoon, though, right?
Yeah, we are just, I would think we'd have time to do this. Wouldn't take long to do this. It's just something else that's gonna be on the agenda.
And if there's a different meeting date that works better, we can certainly
No,
adjust that.
it just shouldn't take long.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Yeah. Would we probably have it at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, but it will be the 15th.
Okay.
Instead of 11.
Okay.
We drafted these, we try to be flexible with the draft and say on 9 o'clock or as soon thereafter as may be heard. So whatever time slot works for that meeting, if there's a time certain that you would like to set, you can just set that through the motion today. We'll adjust the documents before we send them out accordingly.
In my opinion, it works best when we do it first thing,
Yeah,
because
we
then
do
we're
that,
not
yeah.
holding up, it's gotta be done at that time, and then if you get into other items, you may be halfway through an item and
Yeah.
stop and do the resolution.
You want to do it at 9?
You think we should have it
Or
done?
just
like
9:05?
Yeah.
9:05?
Yeah.
That the document will allow for that right now. It's 9 or as soon thereafter as may be heard, 9:05. That works. No problem there. Yeah.
We ready for the motion? I would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 2026-978, a resolution determining that the county is considering establishing a reinvestment housing incentive district and adopting a plan for the development of housing and public facilities in such proposed district, establishing the date and time of a public hearing on such matter, and providing for the giving of notice of such public hearing, 75 Reinvestment Housing Incentive District. So moved. Second. Abendroth moved, and Barker seconded. Any further discussion on that subject? All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you guys want to sign this resolution here, the names aren't there, but it's all right. And I don't need to do anything with this letter.
So, guess what? Resolution.
So 14 houses up there, it's $5,100 a year, $71,000.
Okay.
It's a big start.
Great, that one, you'll take care of that. Okay, and then this is.
Well,
So, I don't need to do anything.
Somebody being happy about it.
Is that for the, newspaper?
One time they talked to me, see, they were doing these small, reviews, but I thought there was something that we
Because I
had to
can
do
see
with that for the
letter,
community.
and then usually do the, putting it in the paper.
I remember something about something on it.
Who's doing what?
Because of
Okay,
the
so I'll send the letter out.
when it comes to that, that's the homeowner's problem, not the county.
So it sounds like basically all we're gonna do is infrastructure, we just do a resolution. Water needs to get under the water. We need to
Okay, so these are the.
Long.
Yeah. And then the sewer obviously is on, water, full river, so whatever.
Okay, so not this, just.
That's what
Yeah.
the county's got now.
Okay, I'll send that today, then to the paper.
The one that I've got is gonna be. Just so you know. Okay.
You've heard, taking some time to public space. And you don't have it now, so you're not really.
You're not losing nothing.
Of course, you don't have to.
We do that.
You're spending money.
I can send it to the paper though,
You-
and then come to you. Okay, yeah, thank you. I just need to know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
Deal with, and then. Okay,
We drove all the way to Emporia and sharpened blades for $12.
okay, I'm gonna mark these so that I know what I need to do. I can do the work, I think is right here,
It says
so.
blade resharpened, 3 of them, $4 each, $12.
Yeah. Okay. And this too. Got it? I can do that. Alright, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Will do.
It can't be very big for $4.
Yeah.
You should buy one grinder.
You want to do these before you go? Okay. Alright, yeah. Maybe if we.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Alright, I don't have any.
That's always good. We're getting great. You guys need us for anything? Okay. If you guys need me for anything, I'll be downstairs.
Never mind. Yeah, we need to hang it up. Get us a nuclear plant. Yep, appreciate you. That's, these are a bunch of little ones, aren't they? Mark told me not to complain, I said, I'm not. Yeah, there's not a lot of zeros on these. That's what they're tired of getting in the office, so they Kaiser goes in there.
We just get one.
This is for maintenance for a month.
So if they have any kind of fires at all, they'll need to hit it.
Apparently.
That's true. You're right. 36, stay so down.
Okay, this is the start of the rest of everything talked about today.
And that's it. Unless I skip to that, try not to review. I'm really trying to be careful.
Hasn't been showing up.
I won't bite on my case.
You just like the entertainment.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Kind of like the old saying, you know, if you're looking at somebody else, you're not critiquing what I'm doing. I'll pass in the buck for it.
Hey, Ben, how are you?
Good, how are you guys?
Good. There's a lot of truth to that.
I'm assuming this is
There
for,
is.
this is South 75, right, it's Manhattan.
Yeah, they replaced the billboards in there.
Well, the one south is in dire need.
Oh, yes.
So I'm assuming that's what that's for.
You doing well?
All right.
Yeah, school's almost out.
Oh my gosh, that's busier than ever.
I know it is.
It's insane. It's our last day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta write this out on my own account today.
Huh?
Today?
Today's the deadline.
Yeah, it was there, the 10th.
Yes, we did. For the second half taxes. Richards,
Yeah.
sure that Mike didn't leave here. Keep you here till keep you here till the. We had some dishes.
I think there's a couple others that probably just sent it.
Yeah,
sent it
yeah,
out.
exactly. Yeah.
Probably left here already.
Yes, yes.
I dropped my stuff off. I would do a straight
Hold this chip. You'll be the one on my last one.
I guess we could have asked, do you plan on going over?
What was that last year? I am.
Well, this will be 2 years.
then you're scheduled for 10, and that's, okay.
Very good, thank you.
The miscellaneous motions we did on the CP2s.
Say what?
Yeah, miscellaneous motions.
Oh,
I didn't.
Mention to
Oh.
Dominic.
I don't need
for
them right
the
away.
Well, right, but I'll need to find it.
Proposed development agreement you will see on that project. I didn't want to jump the gun and be presumptuous, but I think you'd be in support of this. For the development agreement, you get to set the rules and structure for what the development agreement for housing looks like in that particular area. And one of the things that is important to add for the future and for the quality and craftsmanship of those builds is that they follow the international codes for building.
Or you can throw IBC or electric codes or showing codes and do that in there, so.
Right, but you can include that and then make sure that they're built.
And then they'll come say, well, who's gonna come inspect it?
That can be a part of that development agreement. That's
Did we hire somebody to do that, or did they hire somebody to do those inspections? Yeah, so that's something Hugan had talked about forever, that the codes.
So could you, as far as property lines, could you, can we determine where,
I don't recall
so
seeing
that
that one,
we,
so.
by the property lines, I'm just looking at it from, on the south side there.
In the piles.
I think that runs right up to the
okay.
property of,
Strutters.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm just asking if that.
We already did. I don't think we could control the actual planning of it, but
Okay.
the individual property lines are on there.
There's an issue we don't need.
Let's see where you're going with that pond down there.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Yeah.
And that would be for Carl to prove it.
Oh, okay, so there's some,
This one, there's some,
I just know that that pond right there, and those folks.
yeah, this.
Oh.
When I think it's wind damage, you have to be a bunch of trees still 50 feet off. Yeah. All 30 feet from it.
Okay.
Which is how we built, not very much for that, so this, he's sitting on his mill. Like I said, if we did fine tune.
Yeah, we don't want to stop the project.
But we can fine tune and put conditions on it when it comes back after the HIDs. Okay. We're ready to do our 10 o'clock. All right. Waverly FBLA National Leadership Conference. You guys are up.
Thank you. My name is Ben Chapman. I believe you just heard from my dad earlier. I passed him on the highway on the way there.
We saw him.
This is my first year as business teacher at Waverly, and along with teaching a bunch of business classes, I'm also the sponsor for the junior high and high school FBLA chapter. And they've had a lot of success in the past, and that is continuing. I'm going to turn it over to a couple of our students here in a moment, but I would like to read some of our qualifiers for nationals that qualified at state. Michael Lee, Hayden Ohl, Alex Stice, Eli Seaman, and Evelyn McMillan at the high school level. And at the junior high level, we had Addison Drum, Lillian Hurt, Piper Bathory, Gavin Stice, Holden Franza, Emma Gaddis, Peyton Turner, and Anna DeGraff. So we had 12 different students qualify, and we have 9 of them that are going to be going to San Antonio. So
9 this year.
Yep, 9 this year. I think we had 20 last year that qualified and went to
22.
California, yeah. So we're just going to San Antonio, so no airplanes this time. We're going to get to drive down there, but I'm going to turn things over to Eli here. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for your time today. We are representing our FPLA chapter as we prepare for the opportunity to attend the FPLA National Leadership Conference in San Antonio, Texas, June 28th through July 2nd. Competing at nationals is a huge honor for our members because it allows us to showcase the skills we have developed in business, leadership, communication, and teamwork. Students work throughout the year preparing for District 7 competition in January, and then for state competition at the end of March. We had multiple study nights and practice sessions where our sponsors and teachers help us prepare by listening to our speeches and giving feedback, and helping us prepare for prompts and events where we only have 20 minutes to prepare our response to a specific set of circumstances. In competing at state, one must finish in the top 4 to qualify for National Leadership Conference. This year we had 5 high school students and 7 junior high students qualify. Of the 12, 9 will be traveling to San Antonio at the end of June. As exciting as this opportunity is, traveling to nationals also comes with significant costs. Our chapter has been working hard to determine how much funding we will need in order to help students attend and represent our school successfully. While we are proud of the work we've already done, we will still need additional support to make this goal possible for every qualifying student. One thing we are very proud of is how much effort our members have already put into fundraising. Earlier this year, we held a donut fundraiser that earned approximately $2,100. We also raised around $2,500 through our FPLA vending machine sales. In addition, during the Ohio Days barbecue event, we raised almost $3,200. These fundraisers required a lot of teamwork, time, and dedication from our members and sponsors, and they show how committed we are to earning part of the money ourselves.
Turn over to Evelyn McMillan.
So you raised somewhere around 8,600, is that?
Yes, and we've had a lot of costs throughout the year to go to different conferences and meals and things like that. So
Right.
she's gonna elaborate a little bit here.
Our chapter currently expects to contribute almost $3,000 towards national expenses. However, even with that support, there's still a remaining amount of $5,000 that must be covered through additional fundraising and community support in a short amount of time. Attending nationals is more than just a trip; it is an investment in students and in our future. FPLA helps students develop leadership skills, public speaking abilities, professionalism, and real-world business experience that will help us in college and future careers. Nationals also give students a chance to compete against top students from across the country, network with business professionals, and learn from workshops and conferences. We are incredibly grateful for all the support our community has already shown our chapter. Every donation, fundraiser, purchase, and word of encouragement helps create opportunities for students to grow and succeed. Thank you again for your time, your generosity, and your belief in our FPLA chapter. We truly appreciate your support as we work towards representing our school and our community at the national level.
Thank you very much. You guys have questions or?
So do you have more fundraisers? When have you already prepaid for some stuff?
We pay our individual registration is $200 a kid. Like it goes. We have districts where registration is like $35, and you go to state and it's $50, and go to nationals it's a lot more expensive.
Sure.
On that end. We've had our, like I said, our donut fundraiser. We've had our Ohio Days barbecue dinner that we took over for the Booster Club, which was a great fundraiser for us. And the kids, I mean, they're involved in so many activities already with sports, and like you guys, kids running off the track today after this. So, but we're working on some other fundraising ideas, but we have about $3,000 in our funds that we can use to go towards that. The district is going to cover about $1,500 per their policy, but we need still about $4,500 that we're looking for.
And what about your transportation?
Transportation won't be driving; it'll be district vehicles. So it'll just be gas.
District will pay for that. And
district covers that.
Then when you came to me, and I'll go ahead and give my spiel.
Sure.
When you came and asked what you needed to do, this was part of it. Was just you and your group coming down, presenting yourselves. As far as the county commission, we don't do funds, we don't spend taxpayer money, but that's, as I told you, there's other avenues for that.
Yeah.
And that comes from the county attorney and from the sheriff's office, and I'll quit talking now and let Wade fill in.
It's not taxpayer money. Usually, I have a discretionary fund at the county attorney for people who speed or commit crimes and they get a diversion. The diversion is a contract between whoever it is and the county attorney's office that for whatever period of time, for example with speeding, they don't commit any further violations of the law. And at the end, we run their driving record. If it's clear, then the case gets dismissed,
Okay.
like it didn't happen. The benefit we get here locally is they pay the court costs, the fine, plus a diversion fee. The diversion fee goes into a fund, and then I have the ability to disperse it back into the community. So this is one of the ways that I do that.
Okay.
I'd be interested in knowing what was your total registration cost for everybody? I understand you said it was.
Total $195 a student, and then there's one for the, I think, $150 for the advisor. So right at about $2,000.
Okay.
I have to get all of our kids there.
So if I reimburse that fee, that's what I call it, would that
That'd be
help? And then you could, there's several groups that are coming in asking for similar funds, and I've been trying to cover registration
That would help
costs and
tremendously,
fees.
yes, yes,
Okay.
thank you.
And then you'll have to find the rest of it
Yeah.
elsewhere, but that's something that I'm willing to do. I think what you guys are doing is important in coming in and showing who you are and what you're doing for not only the commissioners, but for the public who see, because guess what? You're on YouTube.
Very good.
So wave to the camera. And to let the local community and the citizens of Coffee County, as well as your home community, know what you're doing, the great things that your students in this community are doing. And moving on, and who here is a senior?
I will be.
So one senior?
Well, she'll be a senior next year.
Next year,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, our seniors have already, they're done and.
They're done? Oh, well, yeah, I guess graduation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have what, 5 high school and?
5 high schoolers and 7 junior high members
But
qualified,
they
but 4 are
qualify.
gonna be attending, yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we'll have 9 students total.
I'd like to commend you guys on doing that, and I'd also like to commend you on getting out and raising monies and funds to do that. We've had some that have not had the success that you guys have had on the fundraising, just needing funds, so I really commend you on that, especially in a small school like Waverly. There's a lot of money out there that's collected, and your community's really supporting you, and you guys need to be grateful to those people that are helping you out.
Very much.
Congratulations on what you guys have accomplished.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you for coming in.
Absolutely, thank you. Is there anything else you need on our, do I need to email you or?
If you can send me an email, I like to have a paper trail.
Okay.
So that when I have money taken out of that account for the auditors to see where the money's going.
Absolutely, we'll get that to you today, hopefully.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
Good luck to all of you.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank
Look at the track meet.
Wish me luck, I got a 10-hour road trip.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll take about, take a 6-minute break. We're gonna come back at 10:15, so
You used your 6.
we're gonna come back at 10:15.
Oh.
Okay.
Request from the library books?
All right, it's 10:15, we're back in session, and now we have the full house. All right. Next on the agenda, we got Sheriff Tom Johnson. Okay, I think we carried over a couple items from last week, right? The elevator.
Yeah, the elevator we're gonna deal with today. Todd asked about the current, folks we have here. TKE, is the ones that's doing the old elevators. And they're coming once a quarter for $29.32.64. Again, they're coming greasing, checking on stuff.
And that's on the courthouse side.
That's the courthouse side only. So they went up just a little bit. It was $25.85 back in '24, went to $27.40, and this year's $29.32.64. So, again, like I explained before, if we go with MEI, I recommend, just the courthouse site alone was $24.95. So we're saving about $400, and they're going to do as much things as they can. Again, it's an old elevator system, but they've agreed to take care of it. They have people that service them. This isn't like anything else. It's gonna cost us for parts, and that happens to pay for parts. The big expense is the two elevators over there, which, like everything else, is new. For the biggest bang for your buck, I think, is the $6,400 per year. And that takes care of everything. It's got 2 pages of stuff that it takes care of. Does that seem expensive? It does. But we think that this is the best group. They're the ones that showed up. They're the ones that came and looked at all the elevators, said they had techs here, showed us they had techs here. The other companies just didn't even follow through with what they told us they'd do when they talked to us on the phone. They didn't show up. We asked questions, how many techs did they have in the area, where would be their time that they'd come from, where would they come from, and we got ghosted and haven't heard anything from them. We've tried twice to call them back. So if you ask me, MEI is the company I recommend we go with.
I think there would be good, maybe in the future we could combine the courthouse into their service agreement.
This is, I
This
think,
does happen, we're gonna go with new.
yes, that 2,400 or whatever it is.
It's for the courthouse, right?
Because it's 2 contracts, because
Right.
there's 2 sets of elevators.
Right.
So yeah, it's, that first one, like I said, $24.95 a year is just for these elevators.
And then $6,400 for the deal.
And then $6,400 for the court, for the new elevators.
You said per year, but is this like a 3-year contract or a 5-year contract?
That's correct, like I said before, this is a 3-year contract, MEI.
Okay.
The other company, or whatever, Otis, wanted a 5-year contract. I asked, MEI, when I called them last, I said, hey, can we get this down to a 2-year contract? I have a problem with multiple contracts, you know, just like I've told you in the past. I don't like being out of office and somebody else having to pick up what I sign. And I know it's not me, but I'm the one that done the research on it, tried to figure everything out. And they said, Tom, we've cut this cost down so much, we need 3 years to recoup our costs, and we're gonna be coming over here. And that was an honest answer, I thought. So, that's what I have.
You think they're still gonna be less than 10 days, 12 to 24 hours response?
We asked that question. We said, where's your nearest tech at? And they said there's one in Topeka, one in Kansas City, one in Wichita. And I said, so how long do you think it's gonna take you to get them? They said, less than 10 days, sir.
We know that.
So that's the kind of, you know, they were laughing, joking with us. They understood our problem, you know, having 10 days wait just to show up. And we asked them, you're not gonna show up here and reset a button. We can reset a button. We need somebody to tell us what the problem is and how to fix it. And then, you know, and they said, sir, you know, what impressed us was not only did they have their financial person here that explained to us the cost, their main mechanic that works and has crews underneath him was the one who was here that showed up to look at the elevators, log down serial numbers, show us where things were that we didn't know. And they just impressed us with their show of what they could do for us.
So Tom, refresh my memory that we have an agreement with the company now for the elevators here. Is that a contract or that we need for that to expire before?
Good question.
We switch over to this? I mean, this is 2 separate deals.
Since 1990,
MEI.
Since 1990, this company, and this went through several different names, but since 1990, when the original Hopkins signed this, in 1990, I don't know who that is or anything else, but this contract was signed in 1990, and now it's just perpetuating
Auto
renew every year because nobody said anything. So every year it just automatically renews. So we think we can send them a letter and say, we're done. I spoke to Wade about it, and say we're done with this. And then June, next month, that we want to pick it up with one company doing all of it.
Okay, because that's why I didn't know if they had an anniversary contract date or so.
Again, that's what I can tell you from what I've seen in all the research. This is everything from all the old contracts.
When the money quits coming, maybe they'll realize we don't need it anymore if we can't get to them any other way. I don't know.
Well,
There's a notice provision to get out. It requires 60 days notice. So it's basically an auto renew.
Okay.
And I think I inherited some of those, Tom inherited some of those, and they're not good for those who come after you, because you don't know. I had a contract in the county attorney's office that had been signed in the 90s at some point, and the office didn't even have a copy of the contract, had to request it from the company, and sure enough, so I sent a termination notice, and I was on the hook for everything up to that point because it was auto renewed. But that's why you never want to sign anything unless it's out of public necessity that goes beyond the life of your elected official, which is 4 years.
I just didn't want us to be paying for fuel.
Oh, I agree.
You know.
I agree. The good thing about MEI is they'll do all of our inspections for the state. They'll do everything. The other company wouldn't, it was gonna cost us extra. That price also includes all of our inspections.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So do we have a motion drafted?
I didn't make one out.
Or,
We can bring it back next week. Just wanted to fill you in on the
I think
details and the discovery that had been done.
get it in our motions this
Next
time.
week.
You're looking at 1st June for the effective date.
We need to be, June first for the
Right.
new system over there.
Right.
If Wade looks at, he's looked at it before, but if Wade looks at it and says, listen, we're stuck with this until January for the ones here, then, again, we already have the contract for this site,
Sure.
January we signed for it. But if we gotta have something over there come June first.
so basically we have 2 things, I mean, over there, June 1st, and then you need to give them 60 days on the courthouse, and then we can start up as soon as that's up.
Yep. What we're trying to avoid and address is some issues where people have been stuck. On the elevator. One of them was a kid, and the kid was smart and did what needed to be done, just like an adult would do, but the turnaround to get something up and running over there should not take days, weeks, especially when going up and down those elevators is an ADA issue. If somebody has,
Right.
is limited, and that it's unacceptable for it to last weeks.
So we're all on board with?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
The only other thing I have, gentlemen, it's not on the agenda because I took it off, is the water softener. So I still have this sitting here. Wade talked to me and said we're probably gonna have to have a quote put out, sealed bids. Is that what you want done? If so, then I've got some specs that got sent to me. I'm gonna have to make something up for specs. I didn't know whether Venus McElroy was the ones that gave us this quote, gave us the equipment that they thought needed to be here with the engineer, whether we just go with McElroy's, or if we could just go with McElroy's. If not, then I need to make a quote up, and then we can present that and have that sent out, I guess, for quotes. I don't know who else is gonna bid on it. I suppose anybody could bid on it.
You can send it out for bids.
Send it out, if nobody does bid on it, we'll go and,
Well, and even if they didn't get the low bid, we probably still would have the option
to do
within a reasonable amount
Yeah.
to go with them if that's our choice. Am I correct, guys?
You have to evaluate everything and go with the best.
Yeah, the best bid. Doesn't have to be the lowest bid necessarily, but
I understand.
we wanna cover our bases probably.
I think based on the, at least, the anticipated amounts, the best option for the county is to send it out for bids. That way it's put into the competitive market, and competition's always good, and then you can decide from there.
Okay.
We need a motion to direct that.
We just need to get the specs, and then the specs will be put in a a notice so it can go out. We just don't, do you have those now? I know you were waiting to,
Yeah,
okay.
so is that something that I have to draw up?
You can just get it to me and then we can put something together.
You are, you've already got the specs all put together like you want them in. You don't, okay,
I just got the paper here to
okay.
put all the specs in the document.
I'm sorry.
That's a little above my pay grade.
Tom, have you started using Benchmark yet?
Oh, yes,
How's that going?
smooth as silk. Smooth as silk.
Do we have any new prisoners yet?
You know what, I don't know. I didn't ask this weekend, I was on call this weekend, did a couple of car chases that, I didn't hear this morning whether we went to get anybody or not.
Okay,
Normally on Mondays and Tuesdays would be the days that we would go.
of the federal people?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah.
People are wanting to know, so.
Me too, I'm waiting, I told them, let's go, so.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting last week again with them, by Zoom, just talking about the fine points of what we would do, so. We're ready to go, we've been approved to go, we're just waiting on a phone call,
Okay, very good.
finally. Hurry up and wait, you know.
Is your deputy okay from Saturday morning? Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
From Saturday morning.
Friday morning.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't in the wreck. So you're talking about up on the interstate?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't in the car.
Okay.
So southbound car hits a deer just west of the 155, west of Vito. And it disables that car in the roadway, it can't move. So that driver luckily was smart enough to get out of their vehicle and get over into the shoulder, over in the grass. Two semis come over the top of the hill side by side. One of them strikes the car, pushes that car through the median all the way over into the northbound lanes. And of course that semi then rolls, it hits the car. So we have first the car deer, now we have the semi. So the deputy, sergeant, he pulls up behind the car because it's sitting on the roadway to, tell semis and cars to get over before it gets hit again. And he gets out of his vehicle and goes back over to deal with the semi driver who's still in his semi on the side. And while he's over there trying to deal with it, the northbound car slams into the rear of his patrol vehicle. It's unbelievable. It's on video. It's got forward and rear facing cameras. We watched it Friday multiple times. And he just goes off onto the shoulders, paying attention to the cars in the southbound lane and hits the car. Of course, it has to be a 2026 Tahoe. One of my brand new vehicles that has less than 6,000 miles. It can't be one of the old ones. It's got 150,000. It's got 6,000 miles.
And I think one fire already on scene also.
Oh, yes, sir.
There was plenty of flashing
Sir, when I showed up, because they were saying there's cars everywhere, and of course, semis and cars still driving 85. Zoom, just not slowing down. So I get there and get south of Scott, which that accident's already happened. But cars, how it goes, are not stopping. Semis are not stopping. So, of course, when we got there, the rear tire is torn off of the, right rear tire is torn off of my Tahoe. And of course, the driver that struck it is injured, beat up, he was treating release too. He's in another ditch, so now we got 4 accidents, we're having to deal with. Yeah, from a car deer. But thank goodness, that's what we pay insurance for. Nobody was hurt, bad. Some bumps and bruises, but now I've got the process already started of trying to figure out what the insurance company's going to do. Progressive is the insurance of the person that hit us, so we'll see how Flo wants to pay.
Put her to the test.
Yeah, we'll put Flo to the test, but again, that's what it's there for. There were 2 firemen working on that vehicle that was in the roadway, trying to get the batteries cut before it didn't catch on fire. And if Scott's vehicle hadn't been there, I don't know what would have happened. If he'd have continued to go like he was and was going off the road, he'd have hit those 2 guys that had their back to the car. So it did exactly what we're supposed to do. We did exactly what we're supposed to do, provide that safety, but it goes to show you better be paying attention to what you're doing up there. Not only as a driver, but as law enforcement and fire, because nobody heeds anything anymore. it's dangerous.
You know, from dealing with getting disabled trucks off the road, all these different things, a fraction of what you guys deal with. What can we do to make these drivers stop driving this way? I mean, I was on the north side of Tulsa one time. There's 3 lanes, no traffic, and they go right by me there trying to get a trailer unhooked from a truck. And there's 2 other lanes. Not a car in sight.
Can't fix stupid, sir. Stupid is a stupid does, you know how that
Yeah,
goes, before it's done.
They need to have to reach for their billfold every now and then, and I don't know how to see
Wasn't there
that
some
happen.
citations issued?
Oh, Highway Patrol worked that wreck, and they issued some type citations, yeah.
Good.
So, again, that's the way the world turns. You know, not everybody's conscious and cognizant of what's going on around them, nor do they care about anybody else. They're worried to get from point A to point B at their rate of speed. They don't care. Get out of my way. Why are you guys working with this wreck up here? I gotta be someplace. You know how it goes. It's unbelievable today. I've said it forever and ever and ever. I tell new deputies that come in here, or anybody that comes in here to work in Coffee County, I-35 is its own animal. You better be paying attention to what you're doing constantly, because people do not slow down and people don't care.
Did the state get out there with some trucks?
They finally came up with some of those crash trucks.
Yeah.
You know, that have the signage plus the big bumpers, you call them, crash bumpers, to help us out in case we're seeing, because it was a bad place. But you got 3 vehicles now crashed, 3 on the roadway from 3 different wrecks. You got semi down on the side, you know, trying to get it pulled up. So you got to stop traffic to get it tipped up, and it's
bad.
Well, it's bad just sitting in your vehicle. You know, you're trying to sit there and keep traffic off it, and you got your arrow stick going wherever it may be, and lights flash or whatever. Again, this is a perfect example. They're paying attention over there instead of paying attention to what's going on in their lane of traffic.
And not slowing down.
And not slowing down. This guy said, I never saw it.
Right.
What's happening, buddy?
Well, thank goodness nobody was hurt.
Oh, yes, it was, yeah. We were very lucky. Very lucky.
Oh, the last 3 moving accidents we had with our trucks, people on their cell phone running off the road and still hit us. We're caught off in the grass and still hit us.
Yep, it's unbelievable in today's society, you know how it goes, is when we can see this actually on camera and see exactly what happened. This guy's got no argument. If anything, he just slowly goes off the shoulder, bang. He's paying attention to what's going on up ahead of him. So, we'll see what Flo says.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay? Any other questions for me?
Appreciate the update.
I'll get this stuff together and Wade and I can surely sit down and we can get River City to help us make the photos. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hope you have a great week.
Oh, yeah. Dealing with insurance.
Be safe.
Definitely. Okay, next on our agenda is noxious weed. Todd was here and he's...
And then Todd wasn't here.
Yeah.
Where he went.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in the hall somewhere. Okay. Wade, have you had any luck with the appraisal? Any good news?
Picking up keys, today or tomorrow to go begin the initial, whatever it is to do, I don't know.
Walkthrough or whatever?
Can you run up with them, or they just doing that?
They're just gonna do it.
If they see any storm damage up there, they might let us know so we take care of that.
Wade, do you have Anything, take a couple minutes till Todd gets back.
Yep. Handed, circulated, just a, kind of a spreadsheet. You can use it, not use it, whatever you want to do with it. For me, it's something over the years, and, although you're making decisions for budget, I get stopped and asked all the time, I'm sure Angie does as well, what is this, what is this, why is this? Especially at the revenue neutral rate hearing, where you have citizens come in and they want further reduction, and they either don't know or don't have any idea that for the last month and a half, 2 months, you've been chipping away at what the mill levy figures are to begin with. Last year, I think we started in the 60s and chipped it down to, it was 64, 65 to start out, if I remember right, and then it got down to just over revenue neutral. So this is a chart table that starts out with who it is, the date they come in and ask, what the amounts are. There's a lot of blanks, but the estimated impact. Page 2, the mill levy rate, what the definition, how you calculate the mill levy, sort of a formula. The Constitution, Article 11, Section 1 of the Kansas Constitution, that basically sets and establishes what the tax rate will be for residential, non-residential, all of the above. And the last time it was amended was in 2012, but it kind of gives you an idea where some of those figures come from. The very last page is an example calculation, and then some of the assessment ratios. It's more for informational purposes and to maybe help answer questions if you need them answered, but maybe once you get to the revenue neutral hearing, you'll be able to have some concrete numbers that you can use to demonstrate where you started, where you've ended up, and then kind of maybe estimate ahead of time what the impact is to the mill levy per each of these entities that that's going to provide. So.
Okay. Todd, I think we'll move on to you.
Okay. Just revisiting this from last week about the storm shelters, and we reached out to both of the vendors. Only one is able to offer the epoxy coating. So that leaves us with a bid of $9,000 for a metal shelter, 40 inches by 8 foot, with a 2-part Sherwin-Williams epoxy paint bolted down inside the chemical room. Total cost $9,000.
This is gonna be put in a chemical room?
He put chemical room, but it would actually be in the HHW room. That was just his wording.
Todd, I'm just curious, and you've been there, what, 40 years roughly?
Mm-hmm.
How often, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not necessary, but what do you normally do if there's an event going on? I mean,
If there's an event going on, we're just paying attention to the weather. But there's never been a take cover notice sent out immediately.
and the only reason I ask is because does the landfill have a shelter
Yes,
on their
they do.
in the past, have you ever had to take cover somewhere like?
We have not, the only place that we would have to take cover there in that building is to pull off one of the grates and get into a pit. That would be the only place we would have to go in the case of an emergency.
You gonna lose any storage space in there if you put it in that room?
No.
You got enough room in there
Yes.
to do it?
Yes.
How many people would it hold?
Oh, it's gonna hold as many as we need in there. If all of our employees were there, 3 or 4 customers, I think we could all get in there safely. Would it make the decision any easier if I told you we didn't have to use any tax funds to pay for it?
What funds are you using?
I'm thinking maybe we could use the aluminum can account.
You got enough in it to?
I've got enough in there to cover that, yes.
That would definitely help, because that's our dilemma here. No, I don't think anybody wants to cut back on any safety thing, but we're just doing our best to try to keep these taxes down, you know?
And as you've heard, the budgets or requests are starting to come in, and
Yeah, I get it.
Well, are we gonna set a precedence and you go in every outbuilding that we have?
I don't know.
See,
I mean, there's already one at the landfill.
but then are we gonna have to have one up at 75 and 50 up at the, what's the emergency planning building called up at? GFC building.
But they don't have people there on a daily basis.
But you're not gonna be able to say when the storm's gonna hit, no? Cause I have that place packed when we do emergency management seminars.
I think it'd be a case-by-case deal I mean, that's just my
You know,
opinion.
but I mean, still, it's a dilemma. I like his idea of using aluminum money
And
instead of taxpayer money.
And it would come to us just if
Yeah,
means he presented it.
that's something, and I understand where you're coming from, but since I got on here, like, well, you do this, you gotta do it. No, we don't have to do it, but it would be expected by some people, though.
Yeah.
After you did, you know, but you don't have to do everything that comes here, just because you've done something similar before. Or that's my opinion.
And Todd, that's where I was coming, I mean, I was concerned about the $9,000 coming out of
Right,
tax dollars, but
we're just in a pinch.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there would be 0 pennies used on this of taxpayers' money.
Yes, I would be agreeable then if it could be funded that way.
I would be in favor of that. I mean, I realize we got kind of a motion, but
We need a motion, and I think what we need to do is probably have this paid for out of general fund for tracking purposes, and then me reimburse out of the aluminum can account.
How much is it gonna be?
9,000.
Oh, that's easy, yeah.
and that's with the powder coating and everything.
Yes.
And that's the total cost.
Total cost, delivery, install.
do they have one sitting there, or do you gotta,
No, they would have to build this special for us.
we're looking at 6, 8 weeks?
Probably, yes.
Okay, so,
And this is for the tornado shelter, right?
Yeah, correct.
do you have anything drafted at all?
No, we could say something like, moved on the recommendation of the recycling coordinator to approve the bid of $9,000 from Protection Shelters, funds to come from the aluminum can account.
From Protection Shelters?
Yes.
Were they out of Wichita?
Yes.
And you did say you reached out and this was the only one.
Yes.
that need to say the funds will come from the general fund, whatever, and then reimbursed by the Lumen Can, or just say the funds will come from the Lumen Can fund?
Wade, do we need to say something in that motion about the funds coming from general to being reimbursed by?
I already got it added.
You do have it added? Okay.
I'm just working on getting it together.
Okay.
Did you pick out the exterior paint color?
No. I'm guessing it's this color.
And you're just buying one, right?
Yes, correct.
Bland, is that what you're saying?
The company's from Wichita.
Todd, do they put lights or electricity in it?
I'm gonna say we're gonna wanna have like a magnetic flashlight just stuck to the outside, so when we go in there, we grab it. We won't have any lighting in there, no.
And they're gonna secure it to the floor for you?
Yes.
Like that, maybe add a little detail.
Okay.
A little detail as to what the tornado shelter is, gives the dimension again, and
40 inches by 8 foot.
40 inches by 8 foot.
That way it can go through our 47.5-inch door frame.
And you said it's steel?
Yes.
It's a steel, it's a tornado shelter.
Oh, ST.
Oh.
Steel.
Steel, S-T-E-E-L.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it?
The height is not mentioned.
You might check that.
Oh, you did?
I don't know what, how big your door is, cause my
I was like,
parents
is
have
it
one
a
and it would
different
not have
steel?
fit through.
S-T-E-A.
No, that's the correct
Okay.
steel.
Yeah, that could be an issue, but we'll check on that for sure.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion, upon the recommendation of Noxious Weed Director,
Recycling director, I need to add.
Noxious Weed / Recycling Director, to approve the purchase of one steel tornado shelter, 40 inches by 8 foot, in the amount of $9,000 from Protection Shelters of Wichita, Kansas. Funds to come from the general fund courthouse general capital outlay line item to be reimbursed from the aluminum can account.
Sounds good.
Should I say recycling aluminum can account, or does it?
Yeah, it kinda goes without saying, I think.
Okay, everybody okay with that motion? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Thompson moved, McCurry seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, side? Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And now I need to ask for an executive session with the commission and Wade. Louis,
Are we gonna do two different ones or just
we're
one?
gonna do two different ones.
Two different ones, okay. 10 minutes enough
Yes.
for the first one anyway. I'd entertain a motion to enter into executive session for 10 minutes to include each of the commissioners, Noxious Weed / Recycling Director Todd Bemis, and County Councilor Wade Bowie II, to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel regarding job performance under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319 B1, and to resume in the county commission chambers at 11:05.
I'll move.
Seconded. McCurry moved, and Avender seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. Yep. Okay, we're back in open session. No decisions to be made after that executive session. I was going to read the next motion. My screen went blank. There it is. It's back. Sorry. I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session for 10 minutes.
I think we could take care of this one in 5.
5 minutes. We're going to go for 5 minutes to include each of the commissioners, noxious weed / recycling director Todd Bemis and County Councilor Wade Bowie II to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel regarding job performance under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B1, to resume in the commission chambers at 11:13.
Move.
Okay, Tom moved, Parker seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Be back at 11:30. Back in open session. No action needs to be taken following that executive session. And that brings us to our next item on the agenda. We're a little bit early, but Arden, you want to come up? You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think you probably all know why I'm here. I'm here to resign from the hospital board, and I'd like to tell you why. In the 2.5 years that I've been there, we have not made much progress. I've asked for several things up there, and they've been ignored. One of the things I asked for was to put a drop box a year ago out there so people, the patients, could actually have access to make their payment instead of having to go to the emergency room, get a visitor pass, walk all the way down. No. I thought, brought up, I said, well, we can make it easier. We could open up the back door during business hours. No, ain't gonna do that either. So, I've had a lot of disappointment, and I've had enough. I've brought up several things that I get no response to, and you want to know who I brought them up to? I brought them up to Stacy, and I brought them up to our current chairman. I have yet to get a response, so I can give a response to the people that ask me that question. I've been brought up that if people, and you're in that position, if people bring a question up to you, they're looking for an answer. I don't know all the answers, so I go and I try to find the best possible person to give me an answer. If they don't respond, how in the heck am I going to respond to them? My first month as a trustee, I had 3 employees come to me, and they requested to come to my house. And I said, okay, that's fine. They brought up several points, and I said, well, why couldn't I meet you at the hospital? We don't want any retaliation. I thought, if they're living under that pressure, nothing's going to ever get done. I've got 5 or 6 pages of things that people have brought to me. I have yet to be able to solve any of them for them. The morale at that hospital is very low on the working side. Now, I will say that I call it the north side. Them people are very intelligent, very respectful people. They'll do anything to make it better for the patient. That's why we have several of them that's been there for several years. You ask them why? Because we love our patients. That side is a darn good hospital up there. The other side kind of makes me wonder, because if I can't get an answer, nobody can get an answer. I mean, if you ask a question, don't expect an answer. That was my feeling for 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years. I feel that it could be a better run place. I feel that when I got nominated to be on there, that the board would be able to discuss things and come to, make it a better hospital. That hadn't happened. If you bring up something they think is negative, and then you're an outcast. And to prove that is, I go to the trustee meeting, I walk in, and there's only one person that will talk, or even say hi. And that's usually Mark when he's there. The other night was the first time that Stacy has ever spoke to me, and the only thing she wanted to know was how my grandson was. I thought in the 2.5 years that I've been there, this is ridiculous. I am one of the guys that I don't like to be put down. I don't like to be made fun of. I made it, and there were 2 comments, and one was the other night, and Mark heard it. It really upset me. Because I thought what I brought up, there was a post on Facebook, and it had like 20 followers. And all I asked him was, I says, I think you need to look it up and see some of them comments, because them are potential patients, or they are the patients of the hospital. Wasn't discussed. Nothing was said. And then right before adjournment, somebody brought up that they need the hours posted. And one smart guy goes, well, you ought to put it on Facebook. And he laughed, and everybody laughed. And that upset me. That burnt me. Because I didn't make a joke of it. I was bringing up a point. Not my point, but the point of the people of Coffee County and the patients of that hospital. I've had enough. I can tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but I ain't gonna bore you. If you're interested in it, give me a call sometime. I'd love to discuss it with you. But I'm resigning. One of the things I get nubbed on is I don't do computers. I never have. I don't understand them. My hands, my work is with my hands and my physical work. I don't play on a computer. She sent out a thing on, well, it was on her telephone. It was 17 pages long. My fingers do not fit them little buttons, and when I'm scrolling, I lose everything. I'm not smart enough to know how to get it back. So, it's just really discouraging for me. I really thought the hospital board was 9 people, but I found out it's not. There's 9 people on the board, but I can tell you how many people make a decision. Our election, my first year, was, and it says in this book right here, this is the bylaws for board members, new board members. Jobin resigned. And in the same night, they hired Stacy, which I had no clue who she was. I thought we ought to have a little bit of a interview and see what she had in plan and get to know her. Nope. Cut and dry. Then we had elections. The elections was, I called Eric to see if he would be chairman, and I called Jody to see if she would be secretary, because Allergy couldn't be again. And I called, I can't think who the other one was. And I'm standing as vice chairman. Does anybody else have any nominations? Would you guys have any nominations after that? You got 9 people sitting around there, and that's what's said? I did. Didn't do no good. I didn't want an office. I don't have time for that, you know. I'm not smart enough to go in and figure out the agenda. But I needed to be participating in that. I thought. So, a lot of things that has built up over the 2.5 years, and I just wanted to, you guys appointed me, and I thought it was right to come to you guys and resign. So, anybody's got any questions? They told me, well, Brad was real nice. He told me, he said, do you have a letter of resignation? I said, yeah, but it won't be fancy. So, if you want a letter of resignation, I did write it up. I don't know if it'll fit in your book, but that's as fancy as I get. So, anybody got any questions?
Would you want to date that, Arden?
Oh, I can, yes.
If you just put a date on it.
I knew I forgot something.
That's okay.
Today's 11.
We'll put it in our, we'll put it in our election book. Oh, wait, not our election book. We're the hospital board. I'm sorry, I was thinking.
Well, Arden, I think I can't remember whether I made the motion or not, but I supported getting you on there.
Yes.
And I want to thank you for what you've tried to do, and appreciate that, because it's hard to get people to volunteer for these boards. So definitely want to thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that. That's the most compliment I've had in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I thank you for sticking in there for 2.5 years and trying to make the best of it. I know.
You know, I was gonna hang out until the elections come up, but I go home from the board meeting and I am so upset. And then when it's affecting me and then affects my wife, it's time to do away with it. And I got of course, you all know that I had a grandson who's in a real bad wreck here 2 weeks ago, and things kind of piled up a little bit, so.
How is he getting along, Arden?
He's getting along real good, but he had to go back down for his 2-week checkup, which he wasn't looking forward to riding. His back is very sore, but they took their time, they made it down there, and his appointment was 8 o'clock this morning. I'm having to run a few tests, and hopefully he'll be home, and then they'll transfer him somewhere here closer.
For rehab?
Well, I really don't know.
Right.
I would suspect that, but going to a local doctor here, hopefully get everything transferred up. But the surgeon down there says I wanted to see him. I did the work. I wanted to make sure he's healing right. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
So he wasn't looking for that ride.
No, I bet he wasn't.
8 hours. So I thank you for your time.
I was gonna say, on behalf of the county, thank you for what you've done, put up with. We appreciate what you tried to do.
So thank you. I appreciate that.
And I think all our boards, you know, having a diversity, you know, as far as people, you know, opinions and whatever is important, and you know, you tried to do that. I appreciate everything that you've done while you were serving on the board.
But thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Arden.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, Arden.
We have a special issue from Ruby Ridge,
Okay.
so just.
Well, you know, I think Wade has a few things for us too, so we'll start round table. We'll let Wade
Come back to me.
continue. What?
You can come back to me.
Okay.
Later.
Well, okay, how about we start with age?
So as you're getting budgets turned in, if you guys wouldn't mind, giving those to me at the end of the meetings, and we'll put those in your budget book. That way, you'll have them, I mean, we can make copies of them too if you want to keep them, but if you want us to put them in your books, then we're preparing those now as we're getting them in. The insurance meetings are going on today and tomorrow, so if you guys want to sit in on one, be sure to do that. week. I guess, last thing that I had is that, I would greatly appreciate if you guys could call your appointed department heads in and ask them to follow your direction of being on the agenda earlier in the day. Because at the beginning of the week or the end of the week, I mean, things are going on, sometimes people leave early, you know, stuff happens, and then something can inadvertently get left off the agenda. We try not to do that, but it can happen. We are human. So, especially if they have important topics, they ought to know to get that on right away. And I shouldn't be the one to take the brunt of it. So I would appreciate if you could. And then also, as there are elected officials in positions, I think sometimes, you know, elected officials can do things differently. I understand that, as I am one as well, but if everyone could follow that same rule, that would be helpful, because then if they see an elected official get on the meeting at the last minute, then they think they can too, you know, so, and I'm not being critical of them, but I mean, I think that in order to avoid any issues, it would be helpful for my office to have that cooperation. I did send an email out last week to remind everyone, because we have discussed this over the years, many times. So, hopefully, but I'm not their boss, you are, so.
We brought this up, Angie, trying to help you out on that. So, I mean, if we need to send a letter from all the signing or whatever, call them in, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Because it does, you know, everybody can plan better if we get it. So,
Also want to have it, be able to understand, you know, what is on the agenda, you know, what to expect, you have a chance to vet it out. And if you wait until the end of the day on Friday, you really don't have that chance.
yeah, nobody can ask any questions or anything, and, you know, to get any more information if somebody has a concern.
Come running in during the meetings, oh, by the way, we don't have time for it.
So I would appreciate that, because like I said, sometimes people leave early on a Friday or something happens, and then it always has to be that one important issue that got left off, you know, or something that happens, and
Unless there
don't
is a
mean
true,
to.
if there's a true emergency, that's one
different.
thing, but usually it's not, so.
Right. So, that's all I have.
Okay, since Arden just resigned, I think his seat, runs to the end of the year, December 31st.
Are there published?
Yeah, so right now, we still have, one planning board seat vacant. We have 2 airport board seats that will soon be vacant. And we have the 1 hospital board, so.
And then,
And then we do have 1 on the housing authority too, so. But we're,
I can just read that ad.
yeah, I guess that'd be fine.
You said 2 on planning?
There's 1 on planning, 2 on airport,
Or 2 airport, that's, yeah.
1 hospital, and
Yep.
I don't know if we need to advertise the housing right now.
Well, I mean, we were kind of, had an individual interested that I don't know that anybody had an objection to. I mean, we've kind of, it's become a difficult situation. We've let this hang all this period of time. I mean,
Well, we're
that
planning on,
person's-
right now, we're planning to have a meeting, I guess, at the end of this week to discuss
What
how.
time is that?
You asked me that last week.
you know, I just,
Sorry, I didn't look at
I just
that.
want to be respectful to these people that
Call
turned,
when you find out.
you know, turned an interest in before.
I'll look it up.
And we already asked for that interest, and we have a person that asked to be on there. You see where I'm coming from? I don't know that we need to open that up again, is what, unless.
for the housing authority.
Yeah, unless
Right,
they're
because
not
we-
interested.
Because they've already been,
Yeah,
they've
I
already
mean,
been
and
in
I
and
don't think
interviewed.
there was an issue, so.
Yeah, and I never heard it. I think somebody was gonna contact them, and I haven't heard what the outcome of that was.
You're still interested.
They're still interested.
Okay, good.
Is that something then that we need to just go ahead and
I don't know, maybe we'll wait after they have this meeting.
And
You're ready to go back to the
Okay,
meeting.
okay.
That's what I had.
Collaborate
We're
where we're going.
gonna go meet with them.
Seeing them last week, ECAN celebrated their 60th anniversary last week. I swung by there for a few minutes while they were having their reception. Other than that, I can't think of anything else. Steve, you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Mike? I think I'm good. All right, Wade?
Nothing that I really, we need to address today.
Todd? Today, which brings us to Wade.
Man, we're rolling.
He's gotta make up for everything.
I'm not sure about that.
Here's a special.
As you see, this has nothing to do with today, in case you
Okay, that's, I'm relieved, everybody.
I think those are scary.
were studying for, a hearing.
I'll take it.
As was alluded to earlier, one of the appraisers for the north property is gonna come and check out the keys to go and walk the property and begin their assessment of that property. So that, hopefully that process will launch and we'll be moving forward a lot sooner than what we were. I know the survey has been filed with the register of deeds. I do have a copy of that. I forwarded that on. And pursuant to your direction, Jeff Clark is gonna kind of head that up and be the center point for that appraisal. And I think he's been in contact with some other appraisers to work with him.
These are what you wanted to be left out, correct? These two?
Yeah, if I could, because that way we'll put it in your,
Okay.
in your budget book. And I can start leaving them in here after we get budgets put in, and that way, if
Right.
you wanna look at one, they're there.
I forgot to notice that I'm gonna be requesting notice to advertise for a full-time, custodian position. I have one of the custodians who's gonna transfer to part-time status. And, that's at their request. And I'll have that, request to you next week. I had it ready to go, but apparently I left it on my desk, and it would be retroactive to the date they're gonna start, so. But it will be for a full-time custodian. We need to have the bandwidth to cover, especially once the new renovation is open, and I wanna start that process to collect applications and have interviews sometime at or near the time when phase 2 completes and is open, to not overextend and inundate the current custodial staff. If you recall, we have one of the custodians who now travels to the outbuildings, covers Road and Bridge, covers Noxious Weed, goes to the JSB. Sometimes those other buildings require less attention than others. For example, in the winter season, obviously, it may be more the JSB when you have more activity up there. So I just don't want to inundate them and overwhelm our current staff who do an excellent job. I need to request a 10-minute executive session as an attorney-client to discuss a legal issue regarding a legal issue and provide legal advice regarding a current county contract agreement.
Give me 1 second, I don't have it ready quite yet, I'm working on it. How long, wait?
10 minutes.
Alright.
And the only thing you might want to add is between contract and agreement, just put a backslash.
Oh. Alright, this is it.
Okay, I entertain a motion to enter into executive session for 10 minutes to include each of the commissioners and Wade Bowie the second, to discuss a legal issue and provide legal advice regarding a current county contract / agreement under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B2, to resume in the county commission chambers at 11:51.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Curry moved, Parker seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0.
Hold up on some redhead there, sorry.
Okay, we're back in open session. No action taken following that executive session. I believe we have one more executive session. Wade, you're requesting 5 minutes.
5 minutes. It's, again, attorney-client. This involves a discussion requested to me by another attorney who represents the county regarding a legal issue that I need to provide some input or feedback. So it's attorney-client all around.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm not ready. All right.
I believe so.
that works for the county.
Say that works for the county?
Well, by an attorney providing expert services for the county.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session for 5 minutes to include each of the commissioners and County Councilor Wade Bowie II to discuss matters deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship regarding a legal issue requested by an attorney providing expert services for the county. Under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, KSA 75-4319B2, to resume in the commission chambers at 12:01. I'll make that motion.
Second it.
I made a motion, seconded by Abdroff. Any discussion? All in favor, side? Aye. Anybody opposed? Passes 5-0. We'll be back at 12:01. 12:01. Okay, we're back in open session at 12:01, and no action will be taken in open session. Wade, do you have anything else?
That's it.
Does anybody else have anything they forgot about? You okay, Nancy?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. We'll adjourn at 12:01.
I did. You paid your taxes. I did. Did my civic duty.
Get a minute's worth of this.